Alright, I've had quite a few people ask me about all the stuff I carry with me when I go hunting. And since I had to wash my pack yesterday, now I got to repack everything, I figured this would be a good chance to show you what I carry. So let's get into it. Alright, I'm going to apologize for the road noise because there's a lot of traffic going by. But anyway, the first thing, probably one of the most important things, is my meat sack. Believe it or not, it don't look very big, but you can put a whole deer in here. And I put some big ones in here for the area anyway. I got it from Amazon. It's very crushable, packable. It actually zips up into its own pocket here. But I found that it gives me more room in my pack if I'll just leave it open and stuff it in there like that. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is pack this bag. I got my knife that I do all my field quartering with. I'll put it in here. And I've got my black trash bags right here. And I always make sure they're unscented. These are like lawn bags. They're a little bit bigger, thicker. But I always try to keep at least 2 or 3 in my meat sack. Sometimes I'll use those for field expedient waders if I have to cross a small slough or something that's going to be over my boots, but not over waist high. Alright, so takes care of the meat sack. Stuff it in this main compartment. By the way, this is a Badlands Monster Pack. I've been using one of these since probably, I don't know, 2009 or so. This is actually my second one. But I've had some really good service out of these things. Alright, next thing that goes in that compartment is my camera arm. This is a third arm Mini Pro XL. They don't make this anymore, but it's super compact, and it having three sections, it gives me plenty of reach so I can get out and video around my body if I have a deer off on my left hand side. That goes in. This thing came with a ratchet strap, but I don't like it because it makes noise, and in my experience it's not as stable on the tree as the T-screw. So this is what I always use. T-screw goes in the tree. This goes right down on here, and works really well. I put all that right there. I still got tons of room. Alright, the next thing that's going in this pocket, and you've got to have it down here early season, is I always take a bottle of Gatorade with me. Always super sweated down by the time I get in the tree, and going with nothing to drink, it'll make for an absolute miserable sit. So I keep a bottle of Gatorade in there. That finishes that compartment up. I guess next we'll pack this top compartment right here. I put stuff in here that I'm very rarely ever going to use. Number one thing I keep in there is a spare strap for my lone wolf. It came with 2 when I bought it. I've only ever used 1. The second one is just totally unnecessary unless you get on a severely leaning tree. And when I say leaning, I'm talking to your left or right as you're situated on the stand. Then you might need this second one to kind of keep some stability in the platform. But most of all, this is if I happen to forget my other one. This one is always in here as a backup. Next thing I keep in that pack, in that compartment, is my pen for marking my harvest record. when I shoot something. And then I keep this little tea light candle in there to help me with, you know, if I need to start a fire. And I think that's everything for that compartment. Lighter I keep in my pocket. So, all right, next thing is this is where I keep my camera down here. I've got my little Zoom shotgun mic right here. It goes in first. I got my old Canon M40 camera that has traveled many a mile with me to this point. It's been a fine one. It goes in. Spare battery for the camera. Started carrying a GoPro I think last year or the year before. I keep a spare GoPro battery in here. Keep a whistle in here. It don't weigh anything, and just in case, you never know what's going to happen. I keep a spare flashlight in here. This is a Phoenix PD30. I've had it for 12 or 13 years now, and it really works well. It runs off of these CR123 lithiums. I keep a spare set of batteries in there for it. So I got 2 sets here. I use that light as well for my when I set up to do my show and tell. That's my light source. I've got 2 small rubber bands that I keep in here, and I have in a pinch used these to secure my phone to an air shaft to set up and do show and tell. Like if something happened and my battery dies on my big camera, and it will happen, even with a backup battery. I keep those in there. I got 4 spare AA's that I keep in here, and these are backup batteries for my headlight. And then the last thing is keep a gallon Ziploc bag in here, just in case it comes up a rain while I'm in the tree. I do have something to cover my camera up with. That finishes out that compartment. Alright, next thing, I've got this Benz 100 insect repellent. I've been using this stuff since the late 80s, and it's the best thing I have found to repel mosquitoes, and it's got the lowest odor as far as what I can tell with my nose, and that's the only thing I've got to go by. But this is some really good stuff. Matter of fact, I might go 1 year where I'll use a thermocell. Next year I might not use it. This year I'm not using my thermocell. I'm just using this stuff right here. So it goes in this small pocket. Another small pocket right here. I keep my compass in there. This is a Sunto compass. I actually found this on a hunt. Someone had dropped it in a branch and lost it evidently, and I happened to see it out of the tree, and got down and collected it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I know my buddy Robert Carter keeps his around his neck. I just keep it in my pack because I've got a little different deal for doing compass bearings, and I'll make another video on that here pretty quick. But this is just a backup now, but I've always got it in here. This pocket over here, I keep my GoPro in there, and I keep my Phoenix headlight. I've had this thing for quite a while. Love it. Really works well. Runs off of 4 AA batteries. Really bright. And I've got really good service out of the Phoenix stuff. It goes in here. And the last thing I've got is my woodpecker drill. And roughly a dozen bolts right here. These are 3/8 by 6 inch grade 8 hardened bolts, and I've got them dipped with the rubber up to where they actually go into the tree. That was a tip shown to me by Warren Womack, and I've been using that ever since. But that finishes this side. That's everything that I carry with me in my pack right there. Alright, so now we'll move on to some other stuff. Alright, next thing is my rock climbing harness. I bought this and made a few customizations to it. But I've been using this for a long time. And this serves as my lineman's belt and my tether once I get up to hunting height. Thing worked really good. Got my tree gaffs here. These are a pair of Kleins. I've had these since probably 2008, and use them a lot. Really slick way to get up a tree. When the bolts and the gaffs aren't allowed, then I'll go with these rope on steps. These work really good. They're a little more bulky and a little more aggravating to use, but they work really well. I've had these for I don't know how long, quite a few years. I always use these on a pine tree. I used to use a climbing stand, but I've gotten away from that completely now, and just strictly use my lone wolf lock on. And that just leaves us with what goes in my cargo pocket. This right here is one of my favorite pieces of equipment. This is available from Simmons. This is one of the best pull-up cords. It's the best pull-up cord I've ever had. I've had this thing since I believe 2011 or 12, and when you buy it, it comes with a rubber band on each end. I've actually broken those off. This is a piece of bike inner tube that I put on here to kind of replace it. But this thing will not tangle up, and if you put it up like this every time, you will never have any issues with it. Fold it in half, wrap that around, and that literally might weigh half an ounce. I doubt it. It probably don't weigh an ounce. That's really slick. I put this in one of my cargo pockets, usually my right one. Got my strap for my lone wolf. I also put it in my right pocket. Got a bow hanger. I always, immediately once I get on the platform, I screw this in, pull my bow up and hang it right then, because I don't know how many times I have been caught off guard with my bow still on the ground, and I wasn't set up yet. So that's the very first thing that I do as soon as I get on the platform, is pull my bow up. And then the last thing is I carry a grunt call. I usually keep it in my left pocket along with this. But that's all my stuff. The one thing that you didn't see me put in my pack was a saw, and that's because I always carry a Leatherman, and I use the saw that's on it. What cutting I have to do is very, very minimal, and I've cut limbs off 4 inches in diameter with one of these right here. That's not actually minimal, but it will work. You can cut down some big stuff with this if necessary. But since I've always got that in my pocket, I just think it's kind of redundant, you know, to carry a bigger saw taking up that much room in my pack. But that's it. That's just what I've kind of settled on over the years. I really don't need anything else to go in by myself, set up, kill a deer, and get him out. That's pretty much all it takes. So that pretty much does it for all my gear. Maybe that'll help some of y'all out. And if you see anything that I might could do different, it might help me out, put it in the comments. You never know, I might pick up a tip from you.